International football takes center stage this week as teams prepare to play in the qualifiers for the FIFA World Cup and for the African Cup of Nations, especially for teams on the African continent. Talking about the Super Eagles, it's a full house in the camp of the Super Eagles right here in Lagos. From wherever you're watching us, thanks for joining us tonight on the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Let's take you through some of the things that we're going to be talking about on the show tonight. I've hinted you about some of it already. We're going to be talking about the Super Eagles, take some reactions to the full house already. Some of the players already talking ahead of the double header against Lesotho and Benin Republic. We'll also try to look at the players that the Super Eagles will come across. We'll do a profile of the Benin Republic team. We'll take a look at where some of their players play and what to expect from those players. We'll look at football on the domestic scene. The Nigeria Professional Football League will get us talking as usual on the show tonight. We'll also talk about players on the international scene. Like I said, international football takes center stage. We'll talk about Gareth Bale on the show. We'll talk about Zlatan Ibrahimovic, the 39-year-old, returns to Sweden. And of course, a lot of players are excited that the legend has returned to help Sweden in their quest to secure a place at next year's World Cup. Then, of course, we'll also look at teams like France, teams like Portugal, what is happening in their camp. There's a lot of football on the show tonight, and you can understand it's the International Football Week. FIFA window, a lot of countries playing, using this time to play the qualifiers, time set aside to play those kind of matches. That's the outlook of the show tonight. Let's bring you into all that we're doing tonight. Let's allow you speak to us. Want to feel your pulse, want to know what you feel about all of this since we've talked about sports tonight at channelstv.com. You can send us a mail on Facebook, channels-sports, then on Twitter, get across to us, sending your tweets at channels_sports. The conversation never ends. We do our best to keep it going. Even when the show ends, the conversation never ends. We keep it going. We talk about sports all the way, and it's all for you on the show. Let me quickly introduce my partner in the Lagos studio as I wait to introduce my other partner who's going to be joining me from London. But let me start with the one in the studio. Kehinde Idris joins me again this Tuesday night. Kehinde, feels good to have you here with me.
It's always good to be here. And like you said, another Tuesday night, another Tuesday time to talk about sports. This time it's a bit different for a while now because the international break has been since last year. So probably I think I'm excited. I want to, delve into something different from club football, club, basketball and all of that. It's and a whole lot of corners are, to be discussed on.
All right, so that's it. All right, it appears our man, Austin Okon Akpan, also is ready to join in. So let's just allow Austin pitch in. Greetings to you, Austin. Thanks for joining us on the show tonight.
Sportsy greetings, Yemi. Good to be on the program. Always a delight to be on the show to talk sports.
All right, let's start with the National Sports Festival. There's a lot of football on the show tonight, but we have to talk about our own mini Olympics. Officially, it's 10 days to go to the tournament. The local organizing committee have reeled out the guidelines for the event. There's a lot to talk about as a fallout of some of the things they've reeled out. A lot of questions to ask. But first, officially, let's let you know, it's 10 days to go. You're going to see it right there on your screen. 10 days to go to that event. Edo 2020, all is set now. It appears like the storm is over. There's calm now, and we're going to have the games. Yes, we're beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So that's it, 10 days to go. But of course, I talked about the guidelines. The local organizing committee chairman, who also doubles as the deputy governor of Edo State. There was a press briefing, and he spoke to journalists and stakeholders, and of course, he reeled out the guidelines, and we'll do our best to take a look at some of the things that he said. But first, let's listen to the Deputy Governor, Philip Shaibu, talking about the guidelines, what is expected of the states competing, participating, and the athletes competing in the multi-sport event.
We are ready. We have always been ready as a state, but you know that before the postponement, we had a lot of discussion, consultation, and one of them was that when these games are postponed, there is always a cost. And federal government was ready to foot this bill. And you know the economic situation in this country, right? Before the tournament was postponed, we didn't get any support, financial support from federal government. Both facility and all the vendors that we paid before these games were postponed were solely funded by the state government. This time, federal government has promised, and we are hopeful. We don't have any reason to doubt Mr. President and our brother, the minister. And that is why we have agreed to host in anticipation of the resources from federal government.
All right, that sets the tone. I was hoping we're going to get to listen to some of the guidelines. Probably we'll get to do that later. But Idris, let me just start with you. 10 days to go, and state of readiness is what Philip Shaibu is letting us know. And he says, I mean, we can take him at face value. I mean, he says, look, right from day one, we're ready. The only thing left is the commitment on the part of the federal government.
Yeah.
They've said they're going to do it, and we have no reason to expect them not to.
At all. No reason to doubt.
So that's just basically what they said.
The mouthpiece of the FG, when it comes to sports or youth matters, Sunday Dari, also spoke in that light. So that was why he said no reason to doubt. Now, there was something marking what he said. He said, we are ready, we've always been ready. Now, when he said that, I had to, take that wholesomely, because Edo, over the period, especially the deputy governor, has been on top of everything that has to do with preparations for the Olympics. We know how they had to up the face of the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium, then continue to, retouch and put in, one or two touches. When there was a time, because of the whole pandemic, that a little bit of defacing the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium almost happened. He had to jump on, let's not allow this happen. And all of that, and then they had to put in place things that look like defaced or had been, spoiled. So they've been ready, and they when they say they are ready, I've seen that, all the time. So let's see how the game itself will be. But if you look at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium, fantastic, really. All
right, they've been ready. They are ready. They've been ready.
Yeah, they've always been ready.
They will be ready. All right. So let's link up with our man Austin Okonakman. Let's see if we can get that conversation going. Austin, you listen to the deputy governor. I want your take, and I'm very sure you've also read the guidelines. So maybe you can just put that two together for us, and let's have your take on what you have heard, and also your take on the guidelines.
Yeah, the chairman of the local organizing committee, he has always been, on and on about these guidelines, even before we got to this stage where we are at the moment. So Edo States particularly have got safety at the back of their mind as regards the National Sports Festival. So they will not be playing with those guidelines come April the 2nd. But I must say it is what it is. There's still some level of uncertainty around this National Sports Festival, because I've been speaking to both sides just to understand. Edo State said until they received that credit alert as support from the Ministry of Youth and Sports, which is also the federal government. That is when they receive it, we are going to have the games. They leave the other conclusion to us to to say. So we can on the other side say, so if they don't get the support, are we gonna have the games? Questions.
Yeah, questions begging for answers. And there's also the little matter of compulsorily you have to take the vaccine.
Yep.
There's also the little matter of doing your test 72 hours before
entering Edo State,
you know,
and all of that.
Some of those other
Yeah,
things
yeah.
set in motion to
those measures
to ensure safety, which we all agree.
We all
because
totally
there's
agree.
There's going to be life
Yep.
after these games,
the...
and health and safety must surely come first.
Yeah.
But I like what Austin has said. As much as we want to say all of this is behind us, there's also the little matter of the commitment of the federal government.
You know, you can't blame anybody, especially, you know, we who are into reporting all of this. We know what we've gone through to assure the populace, to assure the people out there that this is going to happen. Several dates, especially since the lockdown was eased and all of that, it's going to happen. And then we come out here and let the people know it's going to be this day. Nothing is going to change. We thought sacrosanct dates have been mentioned in the past. And when this time, especially the February 14, I thought this is not going to change for any reason. When that changed, nothing is cast in stone. And really, when I said, yes, they've been ready and all of that, I actually left like a lacuna saying, I want to see how it will all pan out on, you know, April the 2nd. I think that will be the time you will let me know you guys are ready and it's done.
All right. So when the official opening ceremony takes place, the states assemble, then you know that there can't be any other thing apart from the games going on. All right, let's talk about what has been heartwarming news since we heard it, that the Super Eagles will be playing in Lagos. I mean, a lot of fanfare, a lot of people excited with the news of 2 matches left in the qualifier series. One of those matches, the home game for the Super Eagles, will be played in Lagos. A lot of people are happy about that. But first, let's start with the news of the players in camp. Let's give that to you quickly, as fast as we can, and allow the guys around me, the one in the Lagos studio, and of course our man Austin Konakman to talk about it. But first, let's just see the guys in camp. Let me quickly reel out the names. It's a full house now, and all the usual suspects already in. Ahmed Musa, William Troost Ekong, Olaino, Shimlogo Ajayi, Henry Oyekuro, Ogeneka Retebo, Adekunle Adeleke, the guy from Abia Warriors, Chidozie Awaziem, Shehu Abdullahi, Anayo Iwala, John Noble. I'm happy I'm calling these names. Names we know on the domestic scene.
Exactly.
And because of the unique situation we find ourselves, they're in the team, and I hope they get an opportunity.
Firsthand.
Yes, an opportunity to show what they can do. Alex Iwobi, Leon Balogun, Joe Aribo, Tyrone Eboyi, Maduka Okoye, Jamilu Collins, Paul Onuachu, Francis Uzor, Saidi Sanusi, Wilfred Ndidi, Samuel Chukwueze, Victor Osime, and Kelechi Iheanacho. Like I said, usual suspects. Full house now, and it's heartwarming. Pictures today. They had the media briefing, and of course some of these pictures. I mean, you could see the guys. I mean, you could begin to name. So you've seen the coach, you've seen Joseph Yobo and William Troost Ekong in your picture right there. Let me just quickly get to Austin. Austin, I know you're seeing these pictures, and of course, a lot of us are excited with the prospects of having the Super Eagles play in Lagos, and the fact that on a Tuesday you already have a full complement of the squad that is going to prosecute the double header.
Lagos fans cannot cannot explain the joy they have that the Super Eagles are back in Lagos. But then again, COVID-19 trying to, dampen that joy. As I looked at those pictures, I was like, wow, the Super Eagles of Nigeria actually are back to Lagos. And this doubleheader, they're very serious games. When you look at Benin Republic, and what Lesotho actually showed in the first leg shows that nobody can play with them. If you look at some of the players in camp, it tells you the level of seriousness that we have in the Super Eagles team now, and for me, it was same of the same until we had an opportunity to bring some of the home-based players into the mix. I love the fact that Anayo Iwala was called into this team. I just hope that he gets a chance to show his quality and prove to Coach Gernot that indeed there's quality in the Nigeria Professional Football League. I'm a huge fan of John Noble also. I think Enyimba is what they are because of his goalkeeping prowess. So it will be good to also see him, of course, the striker from Abia Warriors. I said that this is the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And when they're playing Benin Republic and Lesotho, me, if you like, let Benin Republic be the best ranked team in Africa. Nigerians believe that Super Eagles should beat Benin Republic anytime, any day. And that's the mentality that is out there. So Coach Gernot and his team, they understand this mission. It is not one that they can toy with, particularly what happened against Sierra Leone. Do you think we've forgotten? So Nigerian football fans will be saying, so make us happy now because you didn't beat Sierra Leone home and away. So no room, no stories, when the likes of some of the top European players are already in camp, and hopefully we'll get to see them bring the form that they have been showing. I'd like to see Kelechi Iheanacho continue the good form he's showing for Leicester City. It's good to see Tyrone Eboué also back. Leon Balogun, after winning the league, is supercharged also. So I just hope to see good football, and hopefully Lagos fans will be given, some memories to linger on, because each time you look at the history of the Super Eagles, Lagos has got some foundation in it.
All right, so there you have it. Austin speaking, like a true fan, that we all are, of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But of course, we have a job to do, and that's why we're here. All right, let's listen to the players talk about this game. Like we said, they're already in camp. Listen to some of them speak, and of course, I'll come back to get Kehinde Idris' thoughts. Then we'll also take a look at the team Benin Republic will parade against the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
We're taking these games very seriously, but it's not going to be as easy as saying and just doing that. We have to work really hard, because when we played against Benin and Uyo, it was a very difficult game, and they've got a good team. So, I think the same thing for Lesotho when we played away there. Even though we played well in the end, it was difficult as well at the start. So, it's going to be 2 hard games, but we're going to go for the maximum.
I can assure you guys that that's not going to repeat himself again, because it's like a lesson learned though. So, but the most important thing is this game coming up on Saturday. It's just for us to get a win, and then we can come back home to celebrate that we qualified already.
Highly opportune, and I'm highly delighted for this opportunity. It's a privilege every MPFA player wants to have, to be among the Super Eagles. So I'm honored and happy. I believe my ability and my words is what I came here to give, and definitely I will give my all and best. Pressure is part of football, and you must absorb pressure for you to play well. Whether I'm being given 2 minutes or 5 minutes, I will just have to give my ability and make sure my word comes out in every opportunity I'm being given.
I'm looking forward to the game because I'm always honored to represent my country, and I'm trying to help the team and to get the win, of course.
Like the last line, get the win, of course. Before we go on a break, your thoughts? Usual suspects?
Yeah, usual suspects. But I think one of the things I saw in camp earlier today is that the home-based players, you can't look at them and see the home-based different from the foreign. Everybody looks together. If that is the spirit, then good one. Then also the Lagos touch. I heard the captain, vice captain, talking about Trustekong saying, I've heard a lot of stories being told to me directly about the Lagos fans, and I can't wait to get in that mix. How they put you on your toes to perform. Let's see how all that comes together to give us something that we call joy. That is the Super Eagles winning, like we always wanted them to.
If my memory serves me right, probably only Ahmed Musa has the experience of playing in Lagos.
Yeah, so, maybe. So, and the question on social media, the last goal in Lagos was scored by Igali. Who scores the next goal now?
Okay. So we'll see. We need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, still so much for you on Sports Tonight. Once again. All right, welcome back. And so let's talk about our opponents for a few minutes. So let's see the players that the Squirrels will parade against the Super Eagles. And well, you might say you don't know some of these names, but then again, it might just come and surprise us. I'm hoping that won't be the case. Saturin Alagbe plays in a club in France. Fabien Fanole plays for Sidama Kofi. That's in Ethiopia. Marcel Dangino also plays in a club in South Africa. Let me look at the notable names on this list. We just want to give you that list so you know what the Super Eagles will be coming up against. Some of them playing in clubs, obscure clubs in Europe. But I mean, we've learned that you don't take any team for granted, and some of them appear like names, Nigerian names from the southwestern part of the country. Some of them even have,
we have
some
this
links to
like Adeoti right
yes,
there.
one of those names that you will look at and say, yeah. And games between Nigeria and the Squirrels in times past, not many goals.
Not many goals.
2-1, 2-0.
Similarly, you're playing your brothers. It's always, that's tightly knitted. Something like a derby. So whenever you play them and you win convincingly, seems like you've done something so huge. Now, I want to pick out some things from this list where a lot of players in this list from the Benin team are playing in France. Now, France is rated as having one of the top 5, being part of one of the top 5 leagues in Europe. Now, for the ones that are not playing in France, that are playing in Africa, now, we've got players in South Africa. Look at, in Tunisia, Club Africain. If you are following African football so well, club football, you know Club Africain. Joliba in Mali, also well known. Bielefeld, Germany. We're talking of Badas Maspor in Turkey. Now, these are players who are not playing in France, who are playing elsewhere in Africa or probably in the likes of Turkey and all. If you have players playing abroad, one of the things you cannot take away from them is the experience and exposure. So this team, if you look at it critically, they've got exposure, they've got experience. You cannot go in there feeling like you're the big boy and you roll over them. The Super Eagles, like so many of them have mentioned, it is easier said, we must bring the A game to the field. I want to see that. No disrespect to the Squirrels.
Okay, no disrespect to the Squirrels. Hopefully we'll get the job done and do not delay ourselves unnecessarily.
Unnecessarily,
So that would be it. And it's also going to be a good opportunity to, if we got the job done, if we get a job done, to test some other players. Kenny, let's move on now. We're done with this. There's a temptation to continue with this. Maybe at some point we'll get back to this. but let's quickly talk about football on the domestic scene. Very important. We'll also quickly highlight that. Let's look at some match day 17 results. Matches played yesterday. Let's quickly look at the results for you. Some important games played yesterday. There you have it. Results on your screen. FC Faniba and Jigawa Golden Stars. The game was played today. So it ended 2-2. Sunshine Stars lost to
Eimba.
The Aba Elephants. Coach Benga Ngubota says, don't count us out. We're having a bad patch. We'll turn it around. So we'll see. Rangers International defeated Nasarawa United 2-0. Dakada defeated Plateau United by a long goal. Ken, I just want to get your thoughts in a minute on these matches as you have them on screen.
I think for the first game right on the screen, FC Ifeanyiba and Jigawa Golden Stars, as much as FC Ifeanyiba is not the Ifeanyiba that we know for some years now, they've not been themselves, still languishing in that relegation zone. Jigawa Golden Stars really did put up a good fight, and I love that about them, going away to get a point. And if you understand the MPFL very well, going away to get points is as hard. You have everything to to celebrate. Now, for the biggest game thereabout yesterday, Sunshine going up against Eimba. It was a game that I felt Sunshine could use to turn around their season. You get a draw or a win right there in your home, it might just start another era for you in this season. But it couldn't happen. Eimba showing...
It was an old fixture. They weren't playing at home.
Yes.
So do you think that counted against them in a way?
There is a way. It is home. If it were to be time that we have fans, they will still have the chunk, of the fans being at the stadium. So maybe it counted because it's on a neutral ground. But when you're playing Eimba, whether you're playing away or at home, also Akure has not been a fortress this season yet. Maybe in the first 7 games it was, but after then it's not been an Enyimba. Having so plenty number of outstanding games, starting off with this, I think it's a good one, and they are looking forward to the remaining 4 outstanding games that will just put them right there at the top. Then for Rangers slipped down for some while. Now it seems they are on the uprise, and I want to see that continue. Now, not like I have disrespect for other teams, but I want the fight at the top to be a very, very tough for Kwara, Rangers, Enyimba, Kano Pillars, Aqua United. Let's see this fight go on.
And then the game we have on screen, obviously the one.
Yeah, the one goal.
Was referring
and Benga Gobote talked about how little inexperience caused them this game.
The little margins that
Enyimba have got, yes.
All right, let's take a reaction from Coach Fatai Osho speaking after the game. We take that and come back for more Sports Tonight.
Not an easy game at all. You can't come up against Coach Ogumbote and you think the game is going to be easy. I mean, they are going through a lot. We all know that, and it's not really an easy task. They were still able to fight despite that. And for us to get this win is quite a good one for us. I mean, looking at our position on the table too, we need to push up, and that's exactly what we try to do. We have to work a lot. Off the ball to get the result, and we are quite pleased with this result. This is my turn. I was born 3 streets away from this place. I mean, I hardly lose here, but it's quite an impressive one. Lagos crowd, I mean, even with the pandemic, will have been more interesting if the crowds are here to witness this. It's a lot of hard work. I mean, it doesn't come easy. MPFL is a league that you have up to 10 teams that can win it at a time. So you have to be up and doing. I mean, we need to be getting this point on the road.
Just 45 minutes, we threw all away the chances, even in the second half. That was about the glaring chance in my heart, and it was as a result of silly error. Sometimes you lost in a game like this to inexperience. There's no 2 ways about it. The team needs to live up. That's just the gospel truth.
Are you expecting transfers, or you're thinking of talking to the players?
We should not be expecting. It's mandatory. We should not be expecting. It's mandatory.
So how would you rate the quality of the players you have in the squad?
Well, they are not a bad side, but we still need a few quality players to join them. Even before conceding the goal. You see, one thing is normal. When you play 5, 6, 7 games and you do not have a win, your confidence level must drop. And you can see it's not a team, it's not a matured side that can, soak, such pressure. And but all the same, we just need. It's not all over yet. All we need to do is to salvage the team, to maintain our status in the Premiership. And if we have to do that, just in about 6 quality players, we'll be able to make a difference.
All right, you listen to both managers. Of course, obviously both managers having some level of respect for each other. And like the fact that Coach Fatai Osho says, I was born about just almost 3 houses away from this place. I rarely lose. Austin is back with us. Also, you listen to both managers. I want to get your take on some of the results we've shown match day 17, especially the matches played yesterday, with particular reference to this game.
Yeah, Enyimba actually needed to win that one, and they took maximum advantage. The Sunshine Stars will not be playing in Akure, and again, poor run of form. 10 matches now without a win for Coach Benga Ogumbote's team. This is a team that I expected right after that draw in Lagos can go all the way, but since they defeated Enugu Rangers on match day 7, Sunshine Stars is here to win a match. And I look at the team and I say, what's going on? They had a striker that was banging in the goals, They had a team that was producing late wins, scoring late goals, and then suddenly everything just turned dark for them. So it's going to be very difficult. If you look at Sunshine Stars on the table now, after playing 17 games, they've only been able to gather 18 points, and they are 14th on the log. Enyimba, they've played just 13, and they have 27 points. Kwara United on top of the table have 30. Anybody is telling us that they are the champions of the league and they have what it takes to retain that title. So watch them closely. But guys, look, when you look at that Aimba team and the level of depth that they have in the squad, and anybody can score in that team, and the focus Fatah Osho is giving to his team, man, the confidence level is good. It's admirable, and so it means that Aimba can actually, compete for this league title and defend their title because it's already looking like they want it and they can get it.
All right. I don't think anyone would disagree. I don't think anyone would disagree with the things that you've said, that Austin has said about the standing the standing of Aimba currently, especially with few more matches left to play.
Yeah, like I said earlier, when you go to leagues around the world, go to Egypt, go to South Africa, go to Mali, go to Spain, go to England, they always have those teams that perennial campaigners for the league titles. All other teams can come and jostle for it sometimes, but you have those teams, and Aimba has written its name as one of those teams for the MPFL in Nigeria, and I love that. Another thing I want to touch is, Sunshine, when Austin said they are 14th on the log. Now, 14 could sound like, okay, 17 is where you get relegated, 17 downwards. They are just 2 points off the relegation zone. That even carries more weight than being in 14. So it's worrying times for Sunshine.
All right. Coach, if there's any man that can turn things around, Coach
it's definitely the oracle.
Definitely can get it done. So we'll see. Let's take a step down and look at what is happening in the cradle, some people have called it, the Nigeria National League. Of course, a lot of teams move from that league into the NPFL. So if you want to have an indication of what is likely going to happen in the NPFL in a season or two, just pay close attention to what's going on in the Nigeria National League. So we start with match day 8 in Division B1. Nigeria National League, She United taking on Calabar Rovers, Giant Breeders taking on Ekiti United. Go round, be up against Vandreza. Stationary Stores up against Newi United. Match day 8 fixtures, Group B1. Let's see some other fixtures. Still on Group B1, you have Shooting Stars, 3SC, they'll be up against Nilayo FC. Dynamite Force will be up against Delta Force. All of these matches in Division B1. All right, we go to Division B2 quickly. Remo Stars will take on Julius Atete. Ibom Youths will take on Crown FC. FC1 Rocket will take on Joy Comet. Godowski will take on Bendel Insurance. Still in Group B2, you have Bayelsa United taking on Gateway United, and Abia Comet taking on Only Arrows. What a name. Only Arrows.
What a name, really.
All right. So that's it for divisions B1 and B2 in the NNL. So
in the B1, it looks like 3SC is already runaway winners, although there is a Vandresa somewhere who might also be in the mix of the playoffs.
We'll have a thing or two to say.
Yeah. Then for B2, Remo Stars also doing so well. I want teams like Remo Stars to get promoted because they've got a beautiful facility and motivation everywhere. Where we talk about teams in the MPFL not being able to pay this, no motivation, no welfareism. We have a team in the NNL doing all of this, and it's private. Then also Crown FC. Then another beauty of the NNL, over 65% of the teams in the NNL is owned privately. So we were talking of moving from government-sponsored teams to private teams, and the NNL is a proper example of that.
All right. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's talk about the ladies. I'll spend some time to talk about the ladies and look at match day 11. We're gradually moving towards the end. After match day 11, we have just 3 rounds of matches to be played before we know who wins. Match day 11, Abia Angels will take on FC Robo Coins. Ibom Angels will take on Edo Coins. Oshubes will take on Delta Coins. Pelican Stars will take on Confluence Coins. Royal Coins will take on Bayelsa Coins. Dream Star Ladies will take on Nasa. We just might be there. Fingers crossed, we might be. If you show up, you might see us. Dream Stars Ladies will take on Nasra Amazons. Previous Angels will take on Sunshine Queens. These are interesting matches in women's football. Austin, let me come to you and talk about this one. Match day 11, we're gradually moving towards the finish line, and there's really no clear indication of who's going to have their hands around the trophy at the end of it. But of course, like you always say, the women giving us reasons to talk about football.
That's what it is, and we've talked about it in ways that got us excited. You know, FC Robo Queens turning Rivers United, Rivers Angels, and giving them their first loss of the season actually poured some spark to the women's league, because now Rivers Angels, they will need to do a lot of catch up with an informed Bielsa Queens team that doesn't want to look back. So against Sunshine Stars, I wish Sunshine Stars all the best. Sunshine Queens, the MPFL leave my head. Sunshine Queens, you know. So Rivers Angels, Sunshine Queens will get us talking. I'm trying to see how Rivers Angels will bounce back, because there's a lot of psychological drift in the team. After losing to FC Robo, they blamed the referee. Players are saying that they didn't give the game the sort of approach. Maybe they underrated FC Robo and they got punished for it. Edo Queens, Ibom Angels also. Edo Queens, after putting controllers in it's not stepping aside, it's not suspension. They just say, just watch us from a distance. They've now gone to win their last 2 games, and they're third on the log. And maybe they might just make it 3 games and 3 wins if they beat a poor Ibom Angel side. It will also be good to see how FC Robo will respond to that gallant victory over Rivers Angels when they take on Abia Angels. So in all the women's league, we get us talking. Confluence Queens, about 3 seasons ago, they were showing that they can be a force. Let's see what they can do when they travel to Calabar to take on Pelican Stars. So we'll come back and have good things to say, Yemi.
All right, we will. We will. Okay, so let's spend the remaining time we have on the show to talk about international football outside the shores of Africa. We'll go to Europe. Let's take a look at the fixtures. Interesting matches, interesting matchups, I dare say. Portugal will take on Azerbaijan. Serbia will take on Ireland. You have Finland will be up against Bosnia. France will take on Ukraine. The French team decimated now. COVID cases on the rise. So Belgium will take on Wales. The story around Gareth Bale, we'll talk about that later. Estonia up against Czech Republic. Turkey against the Netherlands. Gibraltar up against Norway. Latvia up against Montenegro. Cyprus will try Slovakia for size. Malta will take on Russia. Then you have Slovenia who will take on Croatia. There's a funny story about Dejan Lovren making the rounds. He went to try his luck with the Ultimate Fighting Championship. But we're not talking about that today. We're talking about football. This came across my mind. Let's go to the camp of Sweden. The players are excited. Yeah. Zlatan Ibrahimovic is back in the fold, and the players are happy to have a player of Zlatan's stature in the team with them. Let's take the reaction of the players who come back for more Sports Tonight. All right, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, the players excited to have him. Kende Idris. I think he has 15 goals in Syria now.
Yeah.
I would be excited if I have someone like that in my team.
The man is huge. Not just having the goals, not just having the assists. You need to talk to all of the AC Milan players since they came January 2020. The way it's been massive for them. The way everybody's body language, mentality. You can talk to Frankase, Kalanoglu, Rafael Leao, the young man who plays football like he's an unserious, job. Until Zlatan came in and he saw what seriousness means. And that is what this man brings to town. The coach, Anderson, coach of Sweden, talking about we know what he can do and we're ready to, feel that. And then he comes with a baggage. I don't care about the baggage that Zlatan is coming with. What I care about is what he will give on the pitch. Now, Zlatan might not do much, but you should go to what Zlatan is already doing to the mentality of each and every of the Swedish player that you have now. That is what he brings to town. That is what he brings. So Zlatan, when he had this caption on his Twitter and saying the God is back. That is his back in, international football, Swedish football. Okay. And definitely Sweden, if you listen to the players, are already feeling what it means for you to have the God of football back in your fold.
Okay, very interesting. We need to go on a break right about now. When we come back from that break, we will wrap things up on the show. Of course, not before I get Austin's thoughts anyway. But we need to go on a break right about now. We'll come back and wrap things up on the show.
Not very.
All right, so that's it. Austin, let me just, Austin is still with us. We're about to wrap things up on the show. A lot of qualifiers to pick from, but we don't really have time. But your take in a minute, if you can, on Zlatan's return to the Swedish team. Zlatan says he's excited. That's not the reason he's back. He's excited because he knows he can help them qualify for the World Cup. That if he can't do that, then it's not worth coming back.
That's what it is. And at 39, Yemi, it's another clear reminder to everyone following football that we need to put some more respect on Zlatan Ibrahimovic's name. It's just unfortunate that he's playing football in the same era with Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi. This guy is phenomenal. Let's tell our viewers that he quit international football after Euro 2016. You know, he is the top scorer in Sweden with 62 goals in 116 games. And it actually tore up at that press conference because his sons didn't want him to go back. And he said Vincent cried, and it also got him crying. But I want to ask one question to Coach Anderson. I want to know what he said to Zlatan that made him return. But before I go, let the other players be careful. Don't get him angry. Don't get him angry.
Don't get in his face. Okay,
Yeah.
That's true. I also want to thank you for your time on the show today. Hopefully we get to do this some other time.
All right. Thank you so much for taking me on the show. Always a pleasure.
All right, so that's our man, Austin Okoda Akpan, giving us his thoughts all the way from London. Okay, so we're on the home stretch, Kaylee, and a lot of teams to talk about. But let's see if we can talk about Gareth Bale in a minute or two. Gareth Bale has come out publicly to say, I am at the end of my stay at Tottenham Hotspur, I am returning to Real Madrid. You know, a lot of us feel he's beginning to settle down at Tottenham. So
my thoughts too.
Why
my thoughts?
This decision?
I was when I heard that, I listened to the interview. I heard him say that I was wishing I could get into his head or into his mind to just know the major reason. Because when you find yourself as a footballer getting to play football again, now it seemed like some of the injuries he was going through happen from a psychological angle where you don't even trust yourself enough, and then you get injured. Now you're enjoying football, the goals are coming, the assist chances are coming, and it seemed like football, like we know with Gareth Bale, is now here. Some years ago, when Van Persie was injured, he said something. He said, hey, I hear people talk about Van Persie is injured, he's getting his salary, that there is no footballer that wants to earn and just sit on the bench. You always want to display your wares, what you can do on the field of play. And if Gareth Bale is thinking of going back to Madrid, that it looks like Zidane will still be there because he's been confirmed to still be the manager next season, then it's worrying times for me. But if a man says he wants to do this, the only thing I can do as much, because I love him so much, is to support and hope, you know, he gets all the best from his move.
All right, man is with the Wales team as they prepare for the qualifiers. Like Kehinde said, we wish him all the best. And that's a wrap on the show. But first, I have to thank Kehinde Idris for his time on the show today. It was good having you.
It's always lovely doing this with you every Tuesday.
All right, I would say a big thank you to you as well. Always good knowing that you're there with us all the way from start to finish. We're back again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.